Hello to all our dear followers. I'm Devado, and today we are going to talk about Israel and Palestine. What's the deal between Israel and Palestine that they've been fighting each other for years? Who exactly are the Israelis and who are the Palestinians? To answer these questions, we need to go back about 3,700 years. In the land of Canaan lived three key prophets: Abraham, his son Isaac, and his grandson Jacob, who are considered patriarchs of the Israelites. After several generations, as their descendants multiplied, they came to be known as the children of Israel, and they referred to the land they lived in as the land of Israel. About 3,000 years ago, Israel found a king named Saul, who was also known as Talut. After Saul, a man named David became king of Israel. David had a son named Solomon, who built the first Jewish temple, which became known as the Temple of Solomon. After Solomon's death, the kingdom was divided into two parts: the northern kingdom of Israel and the southern kingdom of Judah, whose capital was Jerusalem. The Jews living in this region did not have good relations with their neighbors. Every empire that rose and reached this area wanted to destroy them. Whoever occupied Jerusalem, their first action was to destroy Solomon's temple. The Jews refused to submit, and when those powers left, they rebuilt the temple. When we reach the time of Cyrus the Great, it's written in the Jews' Torah and the Christians' Bible that they had become slaves and their temple had been destroyed. Cyrus the Great rescued them from the Babylonians and gave them the means to rebuild their temple. The Achaemenid Empire came to an end, and the Parthians rose to power. At the same time, the Roman Empire was forming in Europe and growing stronger by the day. Around 63 BCE, the Romans took control of the Mediterranean region, and Israel came under Roman rule. In the following years, the Jews under Roman rule kept rebelling and wouldn't stay quiet. To control them, the Romans did several things. One was changing the name of that region to Palestine, which came from the Greek word Palestina. Then many Jews were exiled to Europe and the Middle East so they would be scattered. Only a small number resisted and stayed. Centuries passed and Christianity grew stronger. Christ was born in Palestine and his crucifixion took place in Jerusalem. At that time, Jerusalem became a sacred place for Christians. When we reached the 7th century, Palestine fell to the Muslims. Jerusalem was also sacred to Muslims since many of their prophets were born there, and their first Qibla faced that direction. When the Muslims captured Jerusalem, they built a mosque on the site of Solomon's temple and called it Al-Aqsa Mosque, or Masjid al-Quds. This mosque was very sacred to Muslims. In 624 CE, the Qibla was changed from Jerusalem to Mecca. After that, Jerusalem became holy to all three religions: Islam, Judaism, and Christianity, and all three had their eyes on it. After the fall of ancient Rome, Jews in Europe were persecuted because Christians blamed them for the crucifixion of Christ. In the late 19th century, European Jews, known as Ashkenazi Jews, formed a movement called Zionism. The goal of this movement was to liberate their land. Wherever they could, they tried to return to their ancestral homeland. In the early 20th century, tens of thousands of European Jews migrated to Jerusalem, which at the time was part of the Ottoman Empire. As the Jewish population increased, clashes between Muslims and Jews increased. With the end of World War I and the collapse of the Ottoman Empire, Palestine and several other regions came under British control. Hitler also pushed to expel Jews from Germany and Europe to Palestine. He didn't like Jews. By 1947, 2 years after the end of World War II, the United Nations wanted to divide Palestine into two parts because the Jewish population, who now called themselves Zionists, had increased and there had been years of conflict between Muslims and Jews. The UN planned to create an Arab state and a Jewish state and to make Jerusalem an international zone. The Palestinian Muslims strongly opposed this, saying Palestine has always been ours. A year later, the British withdrew from Palestine, and the Zionists, who had become powerful, declared this is Israel just like in ancient times, not Palestine. This led to civil war, and surrounding Arab countries joined the fight against the Zionists. The Israelis won the war and concentrated Palestinians in the West Bank and Gaza Strip, expelling over 750,000 of them. Many went to Jordan and Lebanon. Tensions continued until 1967. A war broke out between all Arab nations and Israel, known as the Six-Day War. Israel won decisively with support from Europe and America. After that, even more Palestinians were expelled from the West Bank and Gaza Strip. while many Jews from around the world moved to Israel, raising the Israeli population and reducing the Palestinian one. By 2023, Hamas launched a large-scale military operation against Israel from the Gaza Strip. In response, Israel launched a full-scale war against Gaza and devastated it, a conflict that has lasted for months. Almost nothing is left of the Gaza Strip. This region hasn't seen peace for many years, with war or tragedy striking every few years. I hope all the wars in the world end and no new ones ever begin. Don't forget to like and subscribe. Until next time, farewell.